Cool. Okay. Fun, fun, fun. All right, guys, we are going to start. So I teach this as kind of my traditional like tower class, but we pretend a lot and use our band. So we're going to start off and we're going to take our band around our feet. And I usually take mine about hip width and really just like stomp into the wall a little bit. Balls of the feet, toes, pressing in. You might want to choke up a little bit. And just find your nice tall, like lifted spine, shoulder blades pulled down your back. Let's just like take a few breaths before we do anything. Long, big inhales that lift you up through the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, just kind of forcing that breath out, feeling that length in your back that takes some work. Kind of play with your resistance a little bit, find a little muscle engagement. And let's just start with some rolling down. As you inhale, you're going to start curling down and you're going to push your feet into the wall as you roll all the way down. You can like inhale for half, exhale for half, and then we'll come back up, notch in toward chest, you curl forward. Once your shoulders are over your hips, you can sit nice and tall and kind of regroup again, and then we'll do that again. And just finding kind of all that like lengthening as you're rolling down, right? When we push into those, into the wall, into the strap, when we use that strap, just gives us that little sense of space in our back. As we roll that and come back up, let's do two more just like that. Just that like warming up through our spine, inhaling for half, exhale that rolling down, and then that curling to come back up, rounding forward, and then that lift tall. And then we're going to add some fun little variations at the bottom. We're going to roll all the way down. We'll inhale for half, exhale, roll all the way down. Just let yourself be there for a moment. Maybe have that feel of kind of pushing your feet into the wall, reaching through the crown of your head. Our wide elbow pull-ups, we're going to inhale, widen our elbows and pull up like you're sliding your elbows a little bit on the floor, and then exhale to straighten. And then we're gonna do that again. That inhale to pull up, and then adjust mine. You guys get to keep going. Exhale as you straighten. Clearly, I did not get my camera where I thought I had it. And inhaling, pulling up. Exhale as you straighten. On your next breath, go ahead and just do a full rolling up. Inhale halfway. Exhale to curl up. And then lift tall at the top. All right, we're going to roll down and do a little straight arm variation. So we're going to do that same roll down, maybe pushing our feet in, getting all that length in our back as we roll down. So instead of a press down, this is going to be a press up. We're going to keep our arms nice and straight, shoulders connected. As you inhale, you're going to press up into your band, and then exhale as you come back down. And core muscles are tight that entire time as you're lifting and lowering. Let's do two more on there. You're just going to pay attention that that front of the shoulder space kind of stays nice and open. You don't let it collapse as you lift and lower. Let's do one more there. Lift and come back. And then you get to roll back up. Notch in toward chest. Do your curl through your spine to come back up. And then let's sit tall. All right, let's head into a little one arm. So let's hold both bands with your right hand. Oh, and Cheryl, I'm just giving this tip because I just learned this week. I don't know if you know this thing. I love that I tie these little, like a knot at the end of each of my TheraBands, and it makes it so much easier to like grip and grab and hold on. So just a little like thing. Reminded me of it when we went to one hand. Okay, so I'm gonna cut both straps into my right hand. Left arm is right out of my shoulder. We're gonna just roll down first. Take that nice big inhale, roll down through your center. When you get down there, you're gonna tip your head to the side and do your side bend. And then you're gonna unside bend, bring yourself back to center, sweep the arm around and curl yourself back up. Get that nice little roll up. And then lifting tall at the top. And then we'll do that again. So we'll inhale, roll down. Remember to really push your feet into the wall. Get lots of length on that way down. Side bend over. Unside bend to come back. Sweep the arm around front. Roll through your spine. And lift tall at the top. All right, let's do one more there. This one will be our stretchy, extra stretchy one when we get to the bottom. So we're gonna roll down. We'll take our side bend, tip our head over to the side, maybe just be there for a moment, really press through that left leg, left arm, and then you can play with sliding the left leg over. Sometimes the band wants to do wonky things on that. I try not to worry about it. Just let it do what it wants to do. Take your stretch. If you want to cross your foot over or just want to leave it close, just be there for a little bit. Play around with that reach. Maybe take those gigantic breaths. Just give you like a little extra space in your side waist. Maybe push both feet into the wall a little bit more. And then of course, when you come out of it, you kind of got to navigate your strap a little bit. Bring your foot back over nice and wide. Unside bend. Bring yourself back to center and then do that curl forward. When you come over and those shoulders over our hips, we're just sitting nice and tall. And then we're going to switch and do that all on the other side. So both straps as comfortable as you can in your left and right arm out in front. We're pushing into that wall, curling down. We're going to take that arm overhead. So when we get to the bottom, we can tip our head and do somewhat of a slide over into our side bend. Come out of the side bend, reach the arm out front, curl through your back, shoulders over hips, and then lifting tall at the top. We're gonna do that a couple more times. So we'll inhale, roll down, press feet into your pole or into your poles, into your wall, whatever you're pressing into. Side bend, unside bend, come back to center, sweep the arm out front, curl through your back. Every time we just get a little taller, a little longer at the top. Let's do one more. This is our stretchy one. Check in with that left shoulder blade. It's gonna wanna like hike up, so you gotta work extra hard to put it in place. Once you get down there, side bend, stay there. Maybe push through that right leg a little extra for a moment, and then you can slide over and let your band do whatever it wants to do. Maybe you want to cross it over the other ankle. You just want to be there. Long, big breath. Maybe check in with that space under like your right rib cage. Like, can you settle it in to the floor a little bit? Let your right hip settle in. When you're feeling ready to come back, you're going to navigate, bringing that strap, foot and strap, and kind of opening up your feet a little bit. Unside bend. Sweep the arm around, roll back up, and then come back up nice and tall. All right, we are going to do a little variation of our breathing exercise with our feet still in our band, probably about hip width apart. You're going to scoot forward. Your legs will be probably about 90-degree angle at your knee and hip, or slightly tighter, I would say. I'll get mine pretty close to 90. And what I want is make sure I kind of like my toes, balls of the feet stomping my band into the wall, but I really want like your full foot anchored, your heel, balls of the feet, pinky toes, really get that anchor down, right? And then of course we got a little resistance here on our band that almost feels like our roll down bar. Let's take a few, just stomping our feet and feel that energy, how like you could have your legs there, or you could like really press them in and make them work. We want to press them in and make them work. Let's do a few straight arm presses where you're just going to inhale, press down and open up the chest a little bit more as you press down, and then exhale as you bring the arms back up. We want to work in both directions as you come up. Don't let the band just pull you up. Resist it a little bit as you're bringing it back up. Let's do one more like that. Press it down, roll, open those shoulders, exhaling as you come back up, and just be in that place where you're still going to work a little bit to keep your shoulders connected. Let's just pelvic tuck and arch a few times. Not a full lift yet, but just stomp your feet, do a little pelvic tuck around your low back, and then tip your pubic bone away and create a little space in your low back. Just kind of getting that movement through our low back, and along the way, check in with your shoulder blades. They're kind of staying connected. We're keeping a little bit of that work through our arms that entire time. Let's do one more. And then we'll head into like, it's just a bridge. We're just going to hold our arms there and just try that bridge where you're stomping your feet into the wall, rolling up, however far up that is for you, and then roll back down, upper back, middle back peels in, low back. Land your hips, getting that like a little bit longer. Let's do two more like that. Inhaling as you're coming up. We get that little energy in our arms. We're not pressing yet. Exhale, we're rolling back down, and play with, even on the way down, pushing those feet in. It like gives your back a little massage. as you roll down. One more time, pelvic tuck rolling up. Check that all your toes are anchored in. Exhale as you roll back down and land hips. All right, now we're gonna add our arm presses to that. As you come up, you're pressing down, opening the chest, kind of like that chest expansion, and reach the arms long. And then as you roll back down to the mat, one vertebra at a time, reluctantly letting that spring, or I'm gonna call it a spring, or hand, whatever it is, come back up. Let's do two more. Stomp those feet on the wall, tuck, roll up, press down, but also reach away through those arms as you lift, and then reverse it, rolling down through your back, landing hips. We're gonna do one last one. This is our bonus one. We're gonna stay up there a little extra. We're gonna tuck, curl, roll up, just be there, like check in, is your neck long? Can you press and reach your arms more? Maybe stomp on the wall and lift your hips that little bit more. Let's move the arms a little while we're here. Let's inhale, lift them up, exhale, press them down a little bit more. Inhale, lift them up, exhale, press them down a little bit more. One more time. Press them down, hold it, take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, start peeling down to the mat, one vertebra at a time, rolling down, and then just releasing hips at the bottom. Awesome, guys. We're gonna go right to your 100. So here's your choices today. You can stay right where you're at and do your 100, like push your feet in, legs bent, and stomp. You could scoot a little bit further away. You could bring your feet a little closer if you want, get a little bit of that inner thigh connection. But more than anything, I want you to be able to kind of push into the wall a little bit. So you decide where you want to be. As long as the upper ab curl is feeling okay, go ahead and curl up. If not, lay your head down, and then we'll pump and breathe. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. That long, big breath for 5 count, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Continue to push away from the wall. Feel how that just turns your belly on that little bit more, and kind of makes you get that like lengthened curl as we're there. Keep pressing all the way across your foot. Kind of squeezing those inner thighs together as you're there. And then those long, big breaths. Inhaling for 5. Every exhale, maybe you come back and push that wall away a little bit more. It might make you feel like you can curl up that teeny bit more. Let's do one more breath. Inhaling for 5 and exhaling. And then we get to roll back down. Just give your head a little nod, side to side. Take your feet out of that band. Let's come on up. Let's do a little kneeling series. We're gonna come on up. We're gonna take our TheraBand, and we're just gonna kneel on it. So you just wanna make it kind of nice and even on there. Oh my goodness, sorry guys, I'm gonna fix my camera a little bit. Believe it or not, I taught this class the other day ago, and I didn't have to change my camera at all, but really, I did not get it set up right today. Okay. Feet and knees hip width apart. And just have your knees on your band. Of course, if you need a little extra padding for any of this, definitely take it. And then you're gonna choke up a little bit on your band to where you like your tension. Wrists are nice and straight. This is that little pelvic tuck, press our hips forward. How tall and long can we be? We're just gonna practice some arm presses. And this will give you a good judge of where you want your hands on your band. So first part, wrists are straight. Can we just inhale, press back? Kind of see like how far can I press back? Keep my good posture. And then exhale as you bring your arms beside you. You're gonna do that. Inhale, press back. And then that exhale as you bring those arms back beside you. Now, bonus is here. I want you to press back first, but then I want you to do this kind of like squeeze your palms together. It's almost like you're wrapping. You might even get a soft bend to those elbows. Wrap in a little bit. And then you can come completely out of it and bring the arms forward. So let's practice that one more time. So it's a press back first, but then you kind of squeeze in a little bit. Bonus triceps. And then bring those arms forward. Now I want to keep that when we head into chest expansion. So it's that, can we press back, do a little bit of that squeeze, and then we're doing our thing where we turn our head one way, turn our head the other way, come back to center, exhale as you bring the arms forward. Do that little bit of tension place. And then we'll do that again. We'll do that press back and then squeeze in. And then if you want to switch which way you go with your head, definitely do so. Come back to center when you're done. Bring the arms forward. We're gonna do 2 more like that. We get our press back, good strength work, squeeze it in, look one way, look the other way, come back to center, and then bring those arms forward. We got 1 more like that one. Wrists are nice and straight. We're gonna press, squeeze in, do our turn one way, turn the other way, come back to center, and then bring the arms forward. And then we're doing 2 more. These are your bonus ones, where before you start, you're gonna think about unweighting your feet. Whether they actually come off the mat does not matter, but think of what it would take to lift them up. If they come up, great. And then do it again. Press back, squeeze it in, look, come back to center, bring those arms forward. We got 1 more, try not to lose it. Keep all that work. Press back, squeeze in, look over one shoulder, look over the other shoulder, back to center. And then those arms come forward. All right, we get a little teeny rest moment. We're gonna do a little kneeling roll down. On this one, what we're going to do is as we roll down, it's gonna feel like a little different than if we had like our spring on there. In fact, I'm gonna hold my hands kind of thumbs up on here. As you inhale, I want you to curl forward, and you may need to let your thighs move back a little bit. It's really hard without a spring to keep your thighs right over your knees. So when you curl, let them lean back a little bit, get lots of articulation, and the band is doing this. To me, it feels like a half circle with your arms. You're reaching out in front, it kind of feels like a lot of work. And then you're gonna stack back up, thighs press forward, hips press forward, arms kind of reach out. Almost, I don't know, they're not really T-like, they're out here to our side, but they have a little tension. So play with that a few times. Tuck your chin, start rounding forward, keep your tension. So you kind of lift up into that band as you round. And then as you stack up, you might lead with your thighs, pubic bone, hips, and come back up nice and tall. Yeah, that's it. Let's do 2 more there. Inhaling as you round, which I know feels like a lot of work. Yes, you guys look awesome. Round. And then that coming back up where our thighs press forward, hips press forward, and we stack ourselves to come up tall. We got 1 last one. Keep that work if you can. Inhale, rounding. We're reaching into the strap, but connecting our shoulder blades all at once. And then roll yourself back up and stack tall at the top. And then, of course, give your arms a little rest moment. We're gonna get a little thigh stretch in. Warning, this feels harder than when you, like these all do, than if we actually got that roll down spring to support us. But what you'll do, I kind of choke up a little extra on mine when I do this. I'm gonna hold and try to keep my wrists nice and straight. We're gonna find our thigh stretch position. Make sure your feet and knees are right, lined up, hip width, feet right behind your knees. And then you're just gonna play with leaning back. So when you lean back, you might find it kind of helpful to pull out on the band a little bit and then bring yourself forward. And if this feels like a really little movement for you, that is okay. It is not very big. To do it well and do it controlled, pull out and then press your shins in to bring you back up. Okay, we're going for that stretch, but also work. I feel like especially in these little ranges, it feels more like work than the stretch even sometimes. If you want to add a little back bend in, you can hinge back, add a little tip your head, arch back, come out of it, and then float yourself forward. Let's take 1 more on there. And again, if you don't like the back bend, skip it. Hinge back, a little tension in that spring will help, or your spring, I'm gonna call it spring all day. Tip back, tuck your chin, and then bring yourself back up. Yeah, awesome guys. All right, we're gonna head into a little, I call it the leg spring series. We're gonna take our bands. Here's the fun of it. We're gonna do our kind of traditional, what I would call traditional kind of leg spring series, 1 leg at a time using our TheraBand. So if you wanna put your head at your tower or your wall end, call it, and let's start with our right foot in our band. Warning, this is a lot of time. This is where those little knots at the end of my TheraBand, I feel like are super helpful. I'll give you a little rest too, because it's a lot of time of just like holding the band when we're not used to it. We're gonna start and have our right leg up to the ceiling over our hip. And then your left leg, if it can be straight, straighten it out. If it needs a little bend, by all means, bend it to where you can keep your back happy and hips stable as we do this whole little series. So I really love that my elbows pull down into the mat and stay there. Kind of keeps my chest nice and open. Let's start, just be in your stretchy place for a moment. Just do a few point and flexes with your foot. Point your foot, flex your foot. And just be in a place where you're getting a little stretch through the back of the leg as we get started here. Good. All right. Now, here's our movement. We're going to point our foot and we're going to press down into that band. And you can probably press all the way down and tap down on the floor as long as that feels okay in your back. Flex your foot as you come back up. You're just coming back to where your hip can stay stable, and it is probably a stretch in the back of your leg. We're going to inhale, point, reach down. And then exhale, flex, reach through your heel to bring it back. And then again, that inhale point, like your leg's trying to get a little bit longer as it stretches down. And then that exhale, flex, drag through your heel. We get that stretchy moment at the top, always good. Inhale that point and reach, check in every once in a while with those shoulders rolling open. Exhale as you come up. We're gonna do one more of those. Point on that way down. And then flex as you come back up. Hard. We're going to do a soft point of our foot. We're going to head into our circles or our half circles. Always give yourself some hand rest if you need it on there. Pointed foot, hips are stable. This is a half circle. We're going to go to the outside of our body first. You're going to reach to the outside. How big you go is your working level. Half circle around to your midline, and then leg comes back over your hip. Inhale for the half circle. Reach the leg as far as it'll go away from you. Exhale as you bring it back up. As far as you'll go to your working level. Open, circle, reach, exhale as you come back up. Remember our goals on this are, can we keep our back stable, hip stable as that leg moves around, does all the fun things in space. We have one more there. Inhale, leg to that outside, half circle around, exhale, bring it up, have a little pause moment. Let's reverse. Lower the leg down, straight down first, and then it's a half circle to bring it around back over your hip. Soft point that whole time. Point down, out to the side, circle, and come back around. We're kind of pretending these are our leg springs, right? That springy action of that band. Circle around and bring it back up. Let's do two more. Inhale, press it down. Exhale as you circle. Now do be aware that that other leg is still working. It is your like standing working leg. So it's going to anchor into that mat to help us stabilize. Let's bend our leg and do a little frog. So here's where you got to find heel on your midline. And sometimes I cheat. I got to look up a little bit and let's see where my foot is in space. And then I kind of like that my outer thigh presses out into my band on this outside a little bit. So one leg frog. We're going to press it out, stretch it long. Exhale to bend it back in. Inhale, press and stretch a little longer. Exhale to come in. How low you go is that working level where you can stabilize your back, stabilize your hips. Check in with your alignment is a little tricky, keeping that heel on your midline, kind of feeling where that is at in space. Next one, let's hold out there. We're going to hold out. You're in your turnout, you're right at your midline. I want you to do a slow open of the leg. Inhale, open it up. 1, 2, 3 is probably your end range. Exhale to come back in. 2, 3. And end range is like your stretchy place. Inhale, where it's a good stretch for you. And then bring it back in. 2, 3. Let's do a few more of those. Inhale, we'll reach it out. 2, 3. Exhale, we'll zip it back in. 2, 3. Check in with your left side. Is it anchoring down to the mat so that your hips aren't moving around as the leg goes out? And we got one more there. Stretch it out to the side. 2, 3. And then bring it back in. 2, 3. Bend it back in. From frog, come back to parallel for me. We're going to do some parallel bicycling today. So you're going to cycle your leg. And how big you go with these is that working level again. You can definitely do kind of a nice big cycle as long as you're not rocking and moving around in your hips as you're doing it. Reaching out, kind of dragging that heel in. Think about keeping your foot, your knee, and your hip all in a nice straight line as that leg circles and comes back. Let's do one more there. Don't forget to breathe. Let's reverse it. Dip your foot down, reach into space, and bring it back around. right? That cycling of our leg, and keeping that breath going, cycling around. Let's do one more. And bring it back in. All right, awesome. Next up, this is my version of little walks. So we're gonna have the legs straight. We're gonna do this little 8 count. When I say 1, I want you to go, if we kind of pieced our like 1's at the top, 8's at the bottom. So we're gonna go down 1 notch, I'm gonna call it a notch, and then come back up. And then we're gonna go down 2. So we're gonna go down 2 and then back up. And then we're gonna go down 3 and back up. And 4 should be about your halfway down. And then we bring it back up, all keeping our hips stable. 5 and back up. And 6 and bring it back up. And 7 and back up. 8 is your full range, stretch it long and back up. And then we go back up, we go down 7 and up. And we go down 6 and back up. And then we do 5 and up, and that 4 should be your middle place, and back up, and that 3, back up, and 2, little baby ones, back up, 1, and back up. Awesome. All right, then we're gonna do some helicopter. 1 leg helicopter. Feels kind of funny at first. You're gonna go pointed foot. We're gonna go down, up, half circle the leg around to the bottom, and then we go up, down, half circle to bring the leg back up, down, up, half circle the leg around, and then that up, down, half circle the leg to come around, and then that down and up, half circle the leg. Let's do 2 more. Remember that standing leg is your anchor, and down, half circle the leg around, and that down and up, half circle that leg around. Oh, good job, guys. All right, we got our last one of these is going to be our leg circle frog combination. So you're gonna find your 1 leg frog. Our heel is right on that midline. Give your hands a little rest, of course, if they will need on there. The start of this is, can we go straight up toward the ceiling first? We're keeping our turnout. Open the leg, do your half circle, get your heel to your midline, and then frog to come back in. Press it up. Open, half circle to bring it around, and then bend it to come back in. I like an inhale for that, reach up, open circle as you're expanding your band, and then exhale to bend it in. Let's do 1 more of that. Press it up, open, half circle to bring it around, frog to come back in. Now we're gonna reverse that. We're gonna do our low press out, open, half circle, bring your heel to your midline, and then bend it back in. Press it out, half circle, bring it over your hip and bend it back in. Inhale, press out. Exhale as you circle and bend it in. We got 1 last one there. Reach, open and circle and bend it back in. We're gonna take 1 little stretchy moment on this leg. At the end, I promise we'll get other stretches. Take the band into your left hand. Just take it across your body. Get a little like IT band, outer leg. If you love to lift your hip, you want to flex your foot, any of those things, just take that little stretch, play with it, find what feels best for you. Nice deep breath. Just kind of moving that leg around in space. And then guess what? We get to do all that fun on the other side. See if Carrie remembers them all. Oh, and then as you're feeling ready, go ahead and switch out your foot in your band. And we'll kind of start again. And of course, again, give your hands a little rest if they need it. It's a lot of band holding time, I know. Let's find your setup. So if you want your right leg straight, get it straight or a little bend. Just be in a place that there is a stretch in the back of your leg. Start with your point and flex. And as you're doing that, just kind of check in with your hips. Okay, notice that kind of extra almost work to anchor that left hip down to the mat. Right leg is strong, it's pressing in, it's your anchor. All right, let's start moving. We're gonna point our foot, lower the leg, reach it down, tap it maybe on the mat, flex your foot, drive through your heel to bring that leg back up. Inhale, point and stretch like that whole left side of your body's getting longer. Exhale, flex, drive through that heel to bring it back up. Inhale, that lengthen on the way down. Exhale, that push out through that heel to bring it back up. Let's do 2 more there. I always feel like each one you get like a little more stretchiness. Like every time, maybe you bring that leg up a little bit, but still keep your hip anchored because that's always our goal. back stability, hip stability. Bring that leg up top. All right, we're gonna do our softly pointed foot. We got our circles or half circles coming up. Right leg's your anchor. You're gonna go to the outside of your body, circle the leg to your midline, and then bring it back up. Inhale for that open circle. Exhale, it comes up that midline. Inhale, open circle, stretch your band a little longer. Exhale to bring it back up. Inhale for that open circle. Exhale and reach it up. We got one more. Open circle. Bring it up. Let's take a pause and go the other way. Lower it down. Half circle brings it around right over top that hip. Inhale, reach down. Exhale, half circle and bring it back around. And that reach it down. Half circle and bring it back up. Let's do two more there. That press. Open and half circle. Good. Check in with those shoulders rolling open and bring it around. Let's go into our frog. Find the position. Do a little cheat if you need to look, see where your heel is, get your turn out, and then let's inhale, press out. Exhale to come back in. You're really gonna kind of imagine where that like midline of your body is, and think of that heel tracing it as you press out and come back in. Our knee kind of always lines up with that foot, so we want our foot with the middle of our knee, however you want to think about that. And back in. Let's do two more there. That press it out, bend it in. Next one, we're going to stay there. So be at a place, you're working level, your back is nice and anchored. Can we take it out to the side as you inhale? 1, 2, 3. Exhale, kind of zip it back to that midline on your 3 count. Inhale to bring it out to 3. Exhale, bring it in to that center. Keep working through that right side to keep anchored so you don't do a big tip into your left hip. And then bringing that leg back to center. Inhale, it's your stretchy zone, how far out you go. And then exhale to bring it back in. We're gonna do one more on those. Inhale as we reach it out. And then that exhale back to your midline. Frog it back in. We're gonna bring our leg to parallel. Give those hands a little rest if they need. Let's do a little bicycle. Let's start bicycling our leg and our spring. And our spring and our band. I cannot keep calling it a spring. All right, let's bicycle around and just kind of notice that work to anchor those hips in place as you're cycling, reaching into that band. Stomach muscles are pulling in. Is your neck long on there? Let's reverse and back pedal. Dip your foot down and reach into that band. Maybe that little feel of your head pressing in. That just gives our neck that little bonus length. And circle and bend and back around. Let's do one more in that direction. And back up. All right, we get our little walks next. So remember these, we're going to point our foot. We're going to go down 1 and back up and 2 and up in your 3 and up in your 4 should be halfway and back up and 5. Hips are staying stable and 6. Back up. And 7, we're almost to your end range, and 8 is your end range, and then we're gonna make it our way back up. We'll go 7, and up to the top, and 6, and up to the top. Keep anchoring through that right leg, and that's 4, and back, I almost lost count, 3, and back up. We get to those baby ones, 2, pull it back towards you, 1, and bring it back. All right, let's get our helicopters in. Adjust, give your hands a little rest as you need. We're gonna start, we're gonna go down with the leg, up with the leg, half circle the leg back to your midline. Up, down, half circle to bring it around. You can inhale down. Up, exhale, half circle to reach it around. That stability work always. And that half circle to bring it around. We got our down and up and half circle to bring it around. We're gonna do 2 more. Up and down, half circle to bring it around, and down and up, and our half circle to bring it around. Fabulous. All right, last one of this series is our little leg circle frog combination with 1 leg. We got our frog turnout. We're gonna stretch our leg straight up over our hip. Open the leg out to the side, draw a little half circle, and then bend it back in. So we go up, half circle, back to your midline, bring it back in. Press it up. Remember that work on that right side. Half circle around. Bend it back in. I think we got one more there. Press it up. Half circle. Reach into that band. Bend it in. Now we're going to reverse that. You're going to press out low to straighten your leg. Half circle from there. Always feels a little harder. Bend it back in. Press it out. Half circle to come around. And then that bend to come back. And we get two more. Inhale, stretch. Half circle to bring it around. Bend it back in. We got one last one. Press it out. Half circle to come around. And then bend it. And then we were done with those. You get to let go of the band for a little bit. Here's the nice stretchy part. We're going to flip around. And we're just going to do legs up the wall. So just a nice stretch. We're going to do hamstrings, so legs tight together first. And then we'll do like a split the legs to get some inner thighs. So how close you go to the wall is kind of up to your hamstrings. If you have a little flexibility, you might be able to get all the way to the wall. Otherwise, you can stay away a little bit. As long as it's a stretch or a little bit of length in the backs of the legs, that's all you want. You just want to get there. I like to kind of get there, let my heels settle in. If you want more, once you get there, you can do things like flex your feet. You can tip your pubic bone away from you a little bit, create a little arch in your back. It doesn't have to be super giant stretch, but just that little length in the backs of the legs. Taking some breath, giving your hands a rest after all of our holding our band for a little bit. And just hanging out. And again, play with your feet a little bit. Soft feet, flex the feet. Little tip of the pubic bone away. At any point and or when you're ready, you can open the legs and just, this is kind of like if we had our feet in our springs, we would just kind of let them hang out a little bit. And you can play with that and just find a good stretch for you. Inner thighs, probably still some hamstrings, back of the legs. You can, even in that position, do that kind of tip your pubic bone away from you thing, and that'll give you a little more stretch. Just breathing, hanging out. It's like our little reward after all your hard work on all those little leg spring series. And when you guys are ready, even though we could probably stay there all night, let's scoot away from the wall a little bit. We're gonna get some teasers in. Here's the teasers I've been loving with the wall. So, and actually, yeah, let's do them this way today. We're gonna, what I want you to focus on today is the coming down. So when we come back up for your teaser, come up if you can do a traditional teaser, great. These tend to be a little, I must say they're a little more challenging. You can have your legs bent, or you could go like right to straight legs. I'm gonna start with mine bent to show these to you guys. Push in with your legs. So here we are kind of at the top of our teaser. We're gonna press in. I get my inner thighs pulled in. Maybe the first one you wanna even hang on, or you could go here. Could we just like super slow roll down? And the whole time, I just want you to feel like you're pushing so much that like your butt is gonna scoot on your mat and your stomach muscles are resisting you. So the slow is the key. It makes us work harder if we go slow, slow, slow. And our legs are pushing, trying to get us to go down quick, but we're just going nice and slow and then rolling down. Now the coming up, again, if you need to hold. If you can do it without holding, great. If you can teaser up, you need to bend those knees at the top. Play around with it a little bit. Yes, those are great. Good job. And then, again, roll down as slow as you can. Find your work. Push your legs so much, and then feel how your stomach has to like work like crazy, not just to plop your back down, and you get that like lengthening stretch, reach through your back. Good. When you come up again, you can come up any way you want. You can rock up, you can curl up. If you can do that, like control, push your feet into the teaser, go for it. But today I'm more concerned with that, like getting down, getting back down, because that's where we're gonna get stronger. Yeah, come back up, reset. We're gonna do one more with both legs. Same thing, you're pushing in. Reach, 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 curl, scoot yourself almost so much on the mat because you're pushing so much through those legs. And then coming back down. And another great way to come up, if you're feeling like feet on the wall, just let yourself rock up. Let yourself just like do a little, I call it the little rolling like a ball. Come back up, plant your feet, because then we got another little fun variation. We're gonna just try with one leg. So just one leg up in space, one foot on the wall. Same thing, I'm more worried about the coming down today. Like, could we hold one leg up in space, push like crazy through this leg, resist ourselves, keep pushing, 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 and just come down nice and slow down to the mat. And then you decide how you want to come up. You could just leave your leg there, or you could even just grab your leg and do a little rock up and start again. Because we're gonna focus on that getting down part. All right, other leg up in space, just switch whatever one you did. Push through that standing leg, try to push yourself down, and then see how slow you can roll down, pushing the wall away as you roll yourself back down. All right, and then one more time, we're gonna rock back up, actually 2 more times. We're just gonna do that one more time on each leg. Little variation on those teasers today. Play with that leg bending more if you want it to. Push, push, push. One leg up, push, stay squared away, get lots of length. Roll it back down, now you guys are getting. And then of course you can come up however you want to come up. You can true teaser, you can do a little rock. We got one last one, our best one. We're pushing that foot into the wall, and then we're resisting it, and our stomach's pulling up and in, and our fingertips maybe reaching. And then just make your way all the way back down to that mat. And then we're done with teasers. We're gonna flip over on our bellies and do a little swan. Let's just start with some like regular swan, mat swan, hands under your shoulders. I do like to be close to the wall. I'm gonna show you some variations that I like pushing the hands and playing around with it on the wall. But I want you just to start kind of with what we know, with this hands under shoulders, hovering our face a little bit. And just finding like your swan. So if you like your legs together, if you like them a little apart, find your little tilt of the pelvis and stabilize your low back, and just take a couple swans. Just lift your head, pull your shoulder blades together, reach long through the crown of your head, and then roll back down. Okay, let's do one more like that one. Inhaling as you come up. Nice big breath. Exhale to come back. Let's take just a couple where we reach our arms beside us with our palms facing in. I love these for getting a little more movement in our upper back. So when you come up, head lifts, sternum lifts, reach through those arms and squeeze in like you got a magic circle there, and see if that gives you a little more movement in that upper back. And then keep reaching as you're rolling down, hovering your face as you come back down. And then we'll do that one again. One more time like that one. That coming up, 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 reach through those arms, do that little squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Yeah, and then coming back down, and then just a little fun with your wall. Play with this. So you can even do this really low. I liked my hands a little above my shoulders with my head kind of hovered. And I just kind of played around with, could I come up into that swan and then do a little bit of that, push my hands in. It allowed me to get a little more swan than I would normally get. Maybe you straighten your arms, maybe you don't. And then roll back down. And you might have to play with it a few times and kind of feel like what works for you when you're coming up, right? And just that sense of, just like when we did our teaser and we pushed into the wall, that we could press in. Yeah, it's really pretty, guys. That rolling to come up. One last one on there. Nice. And then back. Okay, you guys get your choice. Child's pose. Round your back into a cat. If you don't like child's pose, flip over on your back, hug your legs in, anything you want to get a little movement in your back. We are going to do a little cat actually next, so that'll feel good. We're going to do whenever you're ready. Let's come up. Let's do, I've been calling this the falling cat because I feel like it feels like you're going to fall and you have to like stop yourself from falling. So very much like we'd have a cat with our push-through bar down in front of us, but we're not going to have it. We're going to push our thighs and hips forward, and we're actually going to reach our arms up by our ears. And as you curl forward, of course, we have no spring or bar, so you might have to shift your hips back a little bit, but with as much control as you can, I want you to come all the way down and just lightly land your fingertips roll through your hand, through your palm, land it. At that moment, lift your head, stick your tail out, maybe even like drag your hands back to pull your shoulders down a little extra. And then we get to reverse that. So we come back to that really rounded back first. And then it's like this, roll up to your fingertips and just float them off because you're pressing your thighs and hips forward so much as you stack back up. And then we'll do that a few more times. So just all about that articulation. Can we bend through our neck and our upper back and middle back? And it's like our thighs are trying to hold there. We softly land. You're gonna lift your head, stick your tail out, get that like arch, like get longer in your body, a little movement. And then reverse it. Go back to that really rounded spine. Roll up to those fingertips, thighs and hips pressing forward. And then that stacking to come up. Let's do one more like that one, chin to chest. Rolling through upper back, middle back, low back. Yes, and that so fun moment when you kind of almost fall and land your fingertips. Roll down, lengthen, find all that space in your back, and then reverse it to roll back up. That trying to push our thighs and hips forward, fingertips reaching away. And then just that stack to come back up. Awesome, guys. All right, we're gonna grab our TheraBands for some mermaid action. I'm gonna just face you guys on this one. We're gonna be kneeling on our band. I suggest, depending on your, well, either way, I would suggest kneel like at one end of your band as close as you can to it. It just gives you more options on this one. Knees about maybe like hip width apart on there. You could do whatever, like you can mirror me or you can do the same hand. I'll try not to use a hand here. You're gonna hold your band. So the first part, if you've ever been on the reformer and done a little shave the face, it feels a lot like that. We're in our kind of best kneeling position. We're gonna press the arm up, but not let our shoulder blade hike up. And then we're gonna bend it and come back down. And when that arm goes up, try to keep pulling your shoulder blade down. Mine's kind of going in front, it's kind of in my armpit a little bit. And then coming back. And then we're just gonna add to that our mermaid essentially. So we're gonna go to our straight arm, we're gonna lock that shoulder blade into place, and then you're gonna lift up to tip over into that side bend. Lots of length, lots of reach. On side bend, bring yourself back to your center, and then we'll do a little bend of that arm to come back down. We're gonna press up, side bend, maybe that outside hand slides down. And then stack back up and bend it to come back in. Let's take like two more of those. Inhaling, I kind of like a giant inhale for the whole thing, but you can add some breath to that. And then that exhale as we bring it back. Nice, we got one more. Arm reaches up, we get nice and long. We reach to the bottom arm and the top arm all at once. And then stack to come back up. And bend the elbow. And then I'm calling this one like the reversed mermaid. It's kind of like our Start the Lawnmower little arm series on the reformer. If you can have your palm down, try to have it down. Basically, this arm's coming overhead and we're starting in your side bend. So here you are in this side bend, like already looking down. And then could we do like 3 little tricep presses up here overhead? If you need to adjust for your shoulder, you might need to have it up out in front of you a little bit. Otherwise, up here, is eventually where we're going. And then could we straighten our arm? Here's like our reverse mermaid. Unside bend, get tall, get long, check in on that shoulder, go back into your side bend, do a little bend, and straighten with that top arm. Stack yourself back up, 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 shoulder plugs in, go back into that side bend, and bend your arm. Let's do one more of those. Straight arm, lift out of that side bend, that good oblique work. Come back into it, and then bend the arm. And then we get to do that all on the other side. So you're gonna switch, slide it over. Mine's like stuck to my mat on there. Feet and knees like that hip width. We'll do that whole little sequence here. All right, find where you like to hold it. I know it's like different for everybody on there. We're gonna do that press and come back. I think I decided I liked it in my armpit. We're gonna press up and then bring it back. And just remember, this is as you press up, your shoulder blade kind of actively has to pull down as that arm reaches up into the band. Let's add the side bend to it. So let's reach the arm up. From that lengthened place, start tipping your head, reaching, stretch your band more as you go into that side bend, and then unside bend back to center, bend to come back down. Let's do we got 3 more of those. We're gonna be even. Press up, tip your head, lots of energy in both arms. Stack yourself back tall, and then bend the arm to come back. Remember, those hips are pressing forward the entire time, so our butt and our glutes are kind of working that entire time as we side bend, side bend, side bend. And then stack to come back up. Bend that arm. We got 1 more on this one. Reach it up. Strong shoulder blade locked into place. And then it's a bending of our spine to reach over and stretch our band. Stack yourself back up. Bend to come back down. All right, and then we got the reverse side bend one. So the elbow is up high. We are still trying to keep our body all squared away. We're kind of looking down a little bit. We're gonna do like 3 of those tricep presses. Adjust it if you need. If you feel like that arm's got to be out in front of you a little more, that's fine. And take it where you need in your body. On your next one, you're gonna straighten the arm, and then you're gonna unside bend, lengthen, find your tall posture, and then go back into your side bend, but don't collapse as you get there. Bend your arm a little, straighten it. Feel like you're getting that internal lift, 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 lengthen as you come back. Side bend without a collapse. It's that lift, bend, and straighten. I think we got 1 more of those. Stack to come back up. We're gonna go into our side bend to end, and then you can bend that elbow and bring it back around. Awesome, guys. We're gonna stand up. I have a few more fun things for you guys. This one you're gonna wanna be up against a wall. Might bring me up a little on this one, just so you can see me a little. What I'm gonna do is put this behind my rib cage, or under your armpits, I guess. I don't know how best to describe that. And then you really want to lean on the wall. I'm gonna walk my feet out of my way a little bit. Pilates V, which probably means you guys can't see me. Pilates V with your feet. And then take a moment to feel how, like, we could just stand there, or we could find some work. We could like push our feet into the floor a little bit, and that pulls our back into the wall. And if you have like just a little bit of tension on your band, notice your back pulling the band into the wall, right? Feel how that like subtle abdominal work to pull your stomach in and anchor. Might be your rib cage, might just feel like your back is anchored more than anything. All right, and then I want you to keep that as we do just some slow punches. So you're gonna press one arm out and then bend it to come in. And when you press out, if you don't actively work, your back will come off that wall. So when the arm goes out, think about your back like actively pulling into the wall. And it's really not our back working, it's really our front side. It's our stomach pulling in so much that it like glues your back to the wall as that arm goes out and back in. And our hips don't move and our back doesn't move. And then reach. Let's do some with both arms. Your head is just pressing in. Inhale, you're gonna press out. Exhale to bring them back. And again, just have that awareness. When you're way out there, could you pull your back into the band a little bit more and then bring those arms back in? Let's go out and do a little open close. So get there, check in. Is your back as anchored as it can be? And then do a little open, bring the arms back in front of shoulder. Let's do like 2 more of those. Just stay out there. Keep reaching in, stretching your band out as you open and close and kind of pulling your back into the wall that entire time. And then you're gonna bring arms in front of shoulders and just bend them and come back in. Awesome, guys. Let's come off of there. Let's just end with a little like standing roll down. Take your TheraBands, let's use them. Let's hold them about shoulder width, maybe just a little. That's definitely wider than shoulder width, a little wider than shoulder width. Feet and knees hip width. What I want is that we could hold the band and maybe we just spread it apart a little bit. We get a little bit of that work and energy. And then we're gonna do our roll down, right? Kind of that curl through our neck and our upper back. Soften your knees if you want, but can you keep your band a little pulled apart and just see where you get to. See how your back's feeling. See how far down you can go. When you come up, it's a stack up. You're going to press your thighs and hips forward. When you get about halfway, when you feel like your band's about to your thighs, around there, start pulling that band into your thighs. And as you finish that stacking up, can you wrap your arms around your legs and add a little swan at the top? Right? It feels like chest expansion with some swan thrown in. And then come back center, and then we're going to do that again. Just a couple more to practice that. Keep the little band pulled apart and roll it down. Inhaling halfway. Exhale that, rolling it down, down, down. Right? We're going to see where you get. And then as you come up, we're still keeping our band pulled apart. We're kind of stomping down through our feet. We got our belly pulling up and in. Maybe you get to your thighs, somewhere at the thighs to the band. Push in. That'll help you get a little more articulation. Wrap your arms around your legs. Get that open your chest. Gaze up at the ceiling. We're doing one last one. Last one of the night, I promise. I'm going to pull that band apart, curl it down, and just play with, like, the pull apart. It's not huge, but it's just enough to kind of open up your back a little bit more. Definitely, it's making your muscles work the entire time to keep it pulled apart. Rolling back up. We got that same little sequence where we're pressing our thighs forward into the band. We're wrapping it, like we're almost trying to squeeze or get it to our butt or something back there, and then lift our head and chest and gaze up, and then come back around. Ta-da! And then you guys are all done